John Clifford Jones, 51. Stanley James Bodman, 47. John Rowlands, 46. Charles Harper Gray, 44. James Frederick Caddick, 40. James Goodlick Craig, 34. Trevor George Thrupp, 33. Michael William Beasley, 30. Thomas Frederick Chater, 28. Eugene Thomas Riley, 23. Marilyn Paula Nash, 22. Maureen Ann Roberts, 20. Desmond William Riley, 20. Stephen John Wally, 21. Anne Hayes, 19. Pamela Joan Palmer, 19. Maxine Hambleton, 18. Lynn Jane Bennett, 18. Paul Anthony Davis, 17. Jane Elizabeth Davis, 17. Neil Robert Marsh, 17. The 21 people whose names I have read out were fathers, sons, daughters, brothers, sisters, all much loved and cherished Brummies. Nearly 44 years ago, on the 21st of November, they were among hundreds of people who were out in Birmingham meeting family and friends for a drink. The two bombs exploded in two city centre bars, the Mulberry Bush and the Tavern in the Town. If you're not aware of where this was, it was literally just down the road. Literally, it was just a third of a mile down the road. If you had been here in Victoria Square on that night, you would have heard the bombs go off and witnessed the ensuing panic in the city. Quite apart from the 21 who died, almost 200 were injured and many were left with life-changing physical and psychological problems that haunt them to this day. Many of the dead were young women and men, some only in their teens. They were never to pursue careers, never to be married, never to experience children, never to enjoy years of family life with their nearest and dearest, or to see their own children have children. We think most were killed instantly, but we're not sure. We've never had the opportunity to find out. And what were their deaths for? When our loved ones were murdered, the cowards who committed this atrocity didn't only kill innocents, they also destroyed the lives of all those families who continue to grieve the loss of their loved ones today, we included. All our lives were changed forever on the 21st of November 1974. None of us who continue to strive to be the best we can in the memory of our loved ones, in the memory of our father, mother, brother, sister, son or daughter, will ever be who we should have been. That's because gutless murderers not only extinguished lives immediately, in the process they destroyed all our lives over the subsequent years, leaving a stain on our great city that continues to embed itself into the streets, the air, all our lives, and that of the country. Some people make cold comments such as, "Move on, they're dead." It's because they're dead we can't move on. That's because we've never been told the truth about what happened. How can this be? Why are we having to fight for truth, justice and accountability? Why should their names be buried and forgotten about. It's as if their lives never mattered. Well, guess what? They matter to us. Thank you. There is a saying, the benchmark of a civilised society is the quality of its justice. Let me throw this out to you. Imagine 43 years down the line in 2051, the families of the Manchester bombing victims are having to fight to get truth, justice and accountability. They are having to literally beg for equal rights in legal funding. Isn't that a horrifying thought? When my brother and I, Brian, began to campaign over 7 years ago alongside Luddy, where are you? He's here. And many of his football supporters. My family and I never had an agenda. We didn't strategise. We simply had and continue to have the belief that we have right on our side, that morally, legally and ethically we deserve to know what happened. Now we fight not only for the 21 who were murdered en masse nearly 44 years ago, but we fight for all families who have lost loved ones, particularly where there is alleged state involvement. We have been denied legal aid not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not even 5 times. We have been denied legal aid as of yesterday 6 times. I repeat that, we have been denied legal aid 6 times. We need the funding to enable us to have legal representation on par with the coroner and all other public sectors, so we can continue to fight to find out the truth once and for all. Who did bomb Birmingham? How is it that we've been refused legal aid 6 times when it has been provided to so many others? For instance, the Hillsborough families were given funding from the Home Office's own budget. They didn't have legal aid. And they had no limit, quite rightly so. And we are so happy for the Hillsborough families, of whom we support shoulder to shoulder, heart to heart. In contrast to that, I think you'll be horrified to discover that the Chief Superintendent, David Duckenfield, who was in charge of Hillsborough on the day of the disaster, made an application just last year for legal aid to cover his costs for his defence on the charges that have been brought against him. And the judge in December has stated that, quote, the High Court application for David Duckenfield's application involved factual and legal issues of complexity and significant public importance. You may be interested to also know that David Duckenfield, who is also was a public servant, is now retired, also received £7.5 million of legal aid for the Hillsborough inquest and defending a private prosecution. £7.5 million of legal aid. In contrast to that, you then have John Warboys, the convicted rapist, who has personal assets worth £1 million. His legal team was awarded £166,000 of legal aid. Where is the equality to be found for the 21 families of the Birmingham pub bombings in this mix? Is the murder of 21 innocents not of significant public importance for the truth to be known?
For the 21 justice! For the 21 justice! For the 21 justice! For the 21 justice!
Thank you.
For the 21 justice! For the 21 justice!
If we want to live in a society that is truly democratic, one that follows the rule of law, then it is time for everyone to wake up and smell the stench of double standards that has taken hold across our country. Because if we do not act now, peacefully, but with resolute purpose, then your children's, grandchildren's and great-grandchildren's future will be in a country which is rotten to the core. Everyone deserves a voice and legal representation, whether they are a criminal or a victim. As it stands, that is not the case in England or Wales. It appears that the odds are stacked against victims and their families. This is not rhetorical or a polarised view. We are living proof of past and current government's two-tier modus operandi.
This is a rare occasion for me. I can stand in the middle of Birmingham with my Wolves tie on and say I'm amongst friends, because I'm not just representing UKIP, I'm not just representing the West Midlands, I'm a Wolves fan and I'm here with you all today, all brothers together. And sisters, the black country is with you. I've been supporting this cause for many years now. I truly believe that the worst injustice possible has been done to our people here in Birmingham. It's a disgrace what has happened. Ordinary people out for a drink, murdered and covered up by this corrupt establishment. The time has come where all of us must gather together at times like this and say, we're mad as hell, we're not going to take this anymore, we're not going to stand for the establishment betraying the people of our country.
Well said, Bill.
Everyone out there today, I want you to know that this battle will continue until we get justice. We get justice here in Birmingham, we get justice in Telford, we get justice in Rotherham. We get justice everywhere where our people have been let down and betrayed by corruption at the very top of our country. We are not going to stand for this, folks. And I'm so proud today to be here as one of you. I guarantee you I will have this massive gob of mine open all the way to make sure that we stand by you. There won't be a moment we hesitate. You've got the support of UKIP, you've got the support of me, you've got the support of Wolverhampton, you've got the support of all decent people in this country. We stand by you. And what a pleasure to see here in Birmingham, in the West Midlands, all of you coming from around the country. You're all very, very welcome to the West Midlands. We're so proud that you've come. So very pleased that you've come to stand side by side with good people fighting for justice. To see the veterans here, to see people from all different organisations, it makes me proud to my heart. I am so delighted to be here. I want to say to all of you, this is an emotional time, certainly for all of us who believe in this campaign, but for all of us who believe in true justice and a future for our country. And when I look out across all of you, I know something. And you know something. We're going to win.
I know, mate, I know. I want to salute Julie Hambleton. Julie Hambleton has done an amazing job in standing for the 21. She stood against terrorists. She stood against a corrupt legal establishment, and she stood against corruption in, let's call it out, the West Midlands Police, and the veterans, and the DFLA, and the FLA, and every good person here stands with you, Julie. We're with you, 100%. And I want to say something. I want to tell you how Julie and the 21 can get justice today. There are men sitting in Ireland that know exactly what happened. They are cowards. They will not stand up and take responsibility for what they have done. And very soon they will meet their makers. I challenge those men. Stand up, be counted, and confess to your crimes. And next I want to talk about another atrocity my friend from Charlton brought to my attention. We all know about it. We've all forgotten about it. We've all forgotten about Lee Rigby, who was brutally murdered. He was virtually beheaded. He was virtually beheaded by Islamic terrorists. They murdered him. They chopped him up. And we're calling for a permanent memorial at the spot where Lee Rigby died.
Hello Birmingham, hello brothers and sisters. Thank you Richard for a very stirring introduction. Unfortunately, it is all true.
Don't be ashamed of it, mate.
In combat, a soldier becomes an animal when he has to stand, fight and protect his friends, colleagues and the innocent. When he becomes tired, he cannot press the pause button. When things go pear-shaped, he cannot press restart. It's not a game. Our current mission, justice for the 21, eradicate terrorism from this country. To achieve our goals, we have to carry on, whatever the cost. We know that history tells lies. The Americans didn't lose the Vietnam War. They were forced to abandon it because of the attitude of the far left and the mainstream media. As veterans, regardless of your colour, your race, or your religious belief, we will not abandon you. Instead, we will show respect and pick up the honour of our forefathers and defend this great nation. When an individual goes to war, he has to find something within himself. If he finds it, he comes home. Unfortunately, we now find ourselves at war at home. On the bright side, as individuals, we are brilliant. But with the Democratic Football Lads Alliance, we are unstoppable. A word is being bantered around the English language a lot these days. Islamophobia. It's not even a proper word. It's not even correct use of our language. Islam describes an ideology that is sweeping through the Western world, gaining in its extremism. Whilst phobia lends itself to a deep-seated fear of something like spiders, snakes, or speaking out. Well, I, for one, will not be frightened by a few Islamist extremists. And neither will you. Because this land was built on blood and tears. The sacrifice of 2,000 years. The Romans came, the Vikings too. So why would we be afraid of you? Now mark my words, and mark them well. It was 1066 when we last fell. When it comes to a fight, we hate to lose. So respect our men, women, and children, or leave. You choose. Ladies, gentlemen, and children, thank you for being here today. Today is a day that will go down in infamy. If I should die today, I'm going to take everybody here with me, in my heart.